We often think of Mozart as the melody man. That's because he has the ability to write one great melody after another great melody. And I think no piece really demonstrates this quite as well as his sonata in F major K332. And that's good. This is a sonata in F major. We expect the first thing we hear, especially in this time period, just to be our main theme. And there it is. There is our main theme in F major. Then it has a little second half, but we even kind of cadence. We finish off in the key of F major. We actually get a strong cadence, 5, 1, in the key of F. So in that sense, Mozart's done his duty. He could go on to the next theme. Well, he could go on to a transition now to take us to the next theme. But listen to what happens next. Now, we might be expecting this to be the beginning of a transition. That's at least what I think. When I first hear these notes, I'm like, oh, he's going to sneak into a transition. And he sometimes does. He sometimes starts out a second kind of idea, and that's his way of kind of bringing on the transition. And by the time the idea is played out for 4 or 8 measures, we're in transition land. But check out where I stopped it. We're definitely about to start a transition now. Like, this is classic transition. It's loud, it's more bombastic, it has fast running notes, it has diminished chords, it's changing keys quickly. And the point of a transition, by the way, in case you're not aware, sonatas should have 2 main two main harmonic sections, one in the key of 1 and one of them in the key of 5. So the first theme should be in the key of F and the second theme should be in the key of C. But sometimes when we talk about sonatas, we don't say first theme, second theme. We say first area, first tonal, first key area, and second key areas. And it's for pieces like this, because if we scroll back up to the beginning, the first area is an F, and that's correct. And yes, this is our first theme. But then we also had this. Which is kind of another theme, right? So within the first theme, which we really should call the first key area, there's kind of 2 different themes. And then we get a really clear break, we get the transition. And then from the very first C sharp, you should be thinking, oh, we should be transitioning. We need to end up in the key of C. So we're probably going to get to a G7 chord somehow, which will be 5 of C. And this is like everything a Mozart transition should be. Again, it has some fast notes, loud chords. We had this fully diminished 7th chord that resolved down to D minor. We just walked down a step. We went to C minor. And then from C minor, it's just a straight shot. We want to get to the key of C. We go to A flat. We add an F sharp to make it a German augmented 6th chord. The A flat goes down. The F sharp goes up. And we get to G. G. Now, why does he go to C minor in the transition and then end up in C major? This is actually a really common Mozart trick in transitions. You kind of transition to the minor. So the switch back to really sets apart that second theme. And we should feel like the second theme is like... If that doesn't sound like Mozart, nothing sounds like Mozart. Nice. And then at this point, this could kind of be what we call closing material. We'll find out in just a second if it is, but this feels like closing material. We typically have a first theme, transition, second theme, closing. Now we kind of had an area with 2 themes, an independent transition, and we've had a second theme now in the key of C. C is the 5 in the key of F, so that makes sense. We shook it to the key of C. New melody. There were some F chords which might confuse you, but we're not in the key of F. We're just doing a 4 chord, 5 chord, back to 1. But this thing here, it feels like closing material. Closing material typically gets kind of heroic. It builds, you get some nice big strong chords, and maybe you do something big and powerful like, and then a little like, and you actually close it out delicately. But either way, you have a moment where you kind of build and get strong. That's exactly what we're doing here. But this has got to be closing material, right? This is another, not trick, it kind of is. We think we're closing. We get to the big chords, we get to here, and then we go to yet another melody. Now this melody is a little tricky because when you first hear it, you might think, again, we went to the key of F, just like earlier. I said you might have thought we went to the key of F. This one feels more like F for some reason, but it's pretty clearly the key of C. We're just starting a tune on the 4 chord. We do it again. And if you ever thought this was the key of F and really were always bothered by this note, because the first you think is going to be like B flat, but it's B natural because, again, it's just a 4 chord in the key of C, and then 5 chord in the key of C, going to 6, and then we get a real, and then another one. My stupid laptop is in the way of my left hand. So the cool thing about this is, like I said, this is just the first exposition, by the way. We still have the whole development section, but even just now, we had a melody, we had a secondary melody, we had a real transition, we had a new theme melody, which was this right here. Then went to this closing material. We ended the closing material by going into, it's not really closing material, just another melody in the key of C. And then we had real closing materials. That's what I was saying at the very beginning of the video. Mozart can just spit out these melodies, one charming, kind of fun, beautiful, lighthearted, sometimes melody after the next, and we're just in the exposition. We've only just begun. Now, what Beethoven and Haydn, and even Mozart sometimes will do to start the development section is immediately develop maybe the first or second theme. Maybe do the first theme. Mozart lots of the times likes to immediately do the first theme in minor. So we're like, oh, it's minor now, the first theme, but it's being developed in minor. So we're kind of wondering, is he going to do the first theme or the second first theme in the first key area, or the first theme of the second key area, or the second theme of the second theme area? Which one does he choose? None of them. So again, this is just a great demonstration of Mozart's ability to keep whipping out new melodies. We get to the development section, we could develop a lot of things. We could do in minor, we could do, oops, we could do lots of things, but he chooses to go, let's just get a new melody going. And then this is a really cool moment. I just want you to listen to it for a second. The accents get really cool, but you'll hear that. Now, one core element of really any sonata is the drama of trying to get back to the original key and also the original melody. But really, we want to get back to that original key of F. We started in F. We went away from F and went to the key of C. The development section was started in C, but that's not really important because it went through tons of crazy key areas. And we want to know how we're going to get back to F. And pretty much always you're going to land on a C7 chord because C7 once resolved to F. So we need to get to C7 and somehow end up on. So when all is said and done, with all these big chords, Mozart ends up on a big A chord, which to my ears feels like it's going to be A7 in the key of D minor. Those notes definitely feel like D minor. And then you can imagine that. And then we do it again. And we're like, okay, we're on an A chord right now. Mozart kind of goes, oops. And we don't want to be on A major. What about A minor? I mean, it's closer, right? We canceled out the C sharp. We want to get to the key of F. We don't want a C sharp. What about... Now that's close. That is a C7 chord. A small detail though, C is not in the bass. It doesn't have to be, but it usually is going to be in this moment a root position C7 chord. Normally you're going to have a C7 chord with C on the bass because that's the strongest way to get back to F. So he's really close. He's right there. He can almost touch it, but then he fixes the last detail. And you get just a straight up C, E, G, B flat. The C's in the bass. Life is good. Let's go back to the beginning. Now, basically every video I do where I analyze the sonata, I remind you that now what we're waiting for is when are things going to change? This is the beginning. That's what they're supposed to do. The first theme normally stays intact. Sometimes the whole first section stays intact. The transition then should take us to a different place because the first time around, our transition took us to the key of C. So we're going to listen to this and ask ourselves, okay, when does it change? When is it no longer what it was? So far, note for note, same thing. All right, transition. All the same so far. Cool. C minor. There it was. So the first time we did a total of 2 of these chords. We have this C sharp that went to D minor, and then this one went to C minor. Then he went right to an A flat chord, out of the F sharp, G. This time he goes another chord. Well, one more. Sorry. Now ask yourself, where does an A fully diminished 7th chord want to go? Fully diminished 7th chords want to resolve up by half step. That's been happening the whole time, by the way. C sharp wanted to go to D, then B wanted to go to C, and now A really wants to go to B flat major or B flat minor. Now that's not our goal. That's not even the 5 of our goals. We have to ask ourselves, how is Mozart going to use this chord to get us back to the beginning? Okay, if we work backwards, the last 4 measures make perfect sense. This is the same thing as the first time. G chord, now C chord, because C is the 5 of F. Great. If we back up 1 chord before that, this is the B fully diminished 7th chord. Well, B fully diminished 7th chord is the fully diminished 7th chord of C. That's good. That's actually a good thing. We want to go to C. But I hope you see the irony here. We're playing the B fully diminished 7th chord that resolves to C. Well, earlier, back up a couple lines, we played a B fully diminished 7th chord that resolved to C. we were already there. He could have ended this transition actually a few measures earlier than before, because before we went to C minor, then we had to go to A flat, and then add the F sharp to get us to G. Well, this time we can do this, and we could have just gone right to C. So the function of transition is not always just to, get you in a new key practically, because practically he could have done it like and saved us all these extra B flat minor, F, another fully diminished seventh chord. But if you really just look at this bookend here, we start here on a B fully diminished seventh chord, we go to C minor, we go to an added fully diminished seventh chord that wasn't there the first time, just take us to B flat to F, back to the same B fully diminished seventh chord to take us to C. But probably shortening transition, maybe dramatically, was kind of weird. It maybe feels more epic for Mozart to make the transition longer, or maybe he just wants to keep you on your toes. So sonically, if you're not looking at a score, you're just like, oh, I wonder what key we're in, and then we just end up on, and then things are back to normal. Key of F. Now, not normal as in the same notes. Sometimes people will say, I'm playing a sonata, and the second time around, the notes are different. It's hard to remember. This actually is normal. We shouldn't be in the key of C. We should be in the key of F. This is good. Now, don't be tricked here. This is not the key of B flat. Mozart's not doing something crazy different. Just like earlier, there was that F chord. And for a second, you might be tempted to think we're in the key of F, but we're not. We're clearly in the key of C. 4 chord, 5 chord, 6, and it was like 2, 5, 1. Same thing, we're in the key of F now, so your 4 chord, it's a key of B flat, the chord of B flat, not the key of B flat, chord of B flat. And then 5, same trick with the deceptive, and then you do it again. So really, other than a few octaves here or there, this ending really isn't that shocking. It's just the ending of the first half, just transposed like we should. The real special part about this piece, though, as I was mentioning, is this melody, the high amount of different ideas that you get. Just take a second now to watch this video. I mean, if you want to, watch another one of my videos. Are they on that side? I think they're on that side. Watch another one of my videos, or if you want to, listen to this first movement of this sonata again. Just try to keep track of all the different tunes. And then now that you kind of know what's going on with the drama of the keys, that can really help you appreciate what's going on in the piece. Like, oh, we're in home. We're home. We transition. Now we're away from home. We have another melody away from home. We start a development section away from home. We go through crazy keys. We get back to the beginning. We have a longer transition, but then end up right where we're supposed to and finish the piece out in the right key. Thanks for checking out the video. I try not to nag you guys all the time and be like and share and subscribe, 17 times a video. But just a quick reminder, if you've been around the channel for a while, it really helps out to comment. Positive comments down below help out, not just because comments are good, but also just sparking good conversation is really good for the community. Liking the video, share with some friends who you think might like the video as well. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.